Hello and welcome to Car Shield Collegiate League TV. Shane Holsey, Will Kinerly with you. Charlie Bornoff producing for us this evening. A doubleheader. The rain has cleared. We're starting about 20 minutes after the scheduled 5:30 first pitch, but the rain came in about 10 minutes before scheduled first pitch and pushed things back a little bit. It stopped raining right around 5:30. Gave the teams just enough time to get back loose and get the field dried enough to play here at about 5:50 p.m. It's the Eagles and the Falcons. Falcons will be the away team, 4-6-1. Eagles 7-4. So the top and the bottom of the standings, Falcons sitting in sixth place, Eagles in first place at 7-4. Read you through the lineup for the visiting Falcons. Troy Bealsmith is in center field. He'll lead things off. Ben Swords is a designated hitter. He'll hit second. Wade Stouse is at first base. He hits third. Austin Schmidt is behind the plate. He hits fourth. Michael Long is in left field. He hits fifth. Andrew Fay hits sixth, playing shortstop. Cade Hull plays second base, hits seventh. David Olenek is in right field. He hits eighth. And Brandon Olm, the third baseman, hits ninth. And the pitcher they'll go to work against is a hard-throwing Mizzou commit, Austin Trosser, making his second start, fifth time we've seen him on the mound. He's impressed us so far. 7 innings of work, 3 earned runs, 12 strikeouts, and 4 walks for the lanky right-hander who's headed to the University of Missouri.
He's shown great stuff so far this summer, Shane. The command of his fastball working both sides of the plate has been really impressive, and his ability to drop in multiple pitches for strikes has been something that's been great to see. He's a guy who's gained velocity these last couple years, and that's why he got on that Division I radar, and he only has room to grow. His frame he can fill out, start adding strength to it. But he's a very promising arm, has a really bright future. Excited to see him throw once again tonight, Shane.
Fifth time we've seen him. Second game in a row that he's appeared in that he started. The first pitch to Troy Bealsmith missed for a ball. We're underway. The 4-6-1 Falcons, 7-4 Eagles as Bealsmith chops that one to Randazzo at third. Steven Randazzo fires on to first. And the stretch by Ole Arntzen. And Troy Bealsmith is put away for out number one. To take you around the horn for the Eagles. Justin Eads is in left field. Aaron Hopp is in center. Kenny Piper in right field. Randazzo at third base. Noah Jacobson at short. Peyton Leeper at second. Ole Arntzen at first. John Stallcup behind the plate, catching Austin Trosser.
What a play to start the game to stay with it. He had to stay with it on that one, the Drury Panther at the hot corner. So welcome to the ball game right away, getting the ground ball. And that's what Trosser will typically do. He gets the strikeouts and ground balls. He works down in the zone and really likes to come inside on guys and saw their hands off, and that's what he did right there.
Got the first out on 2 pitches. Ben Swords, his first pitch swinging. Swords had to come out of the Falcons' last ball game, but it appears he's okay. And he's in the lineup this evening, batting second, serving as a designated hitter, so not playing the field, but still in the lineup for the Falcons.
Yeah, it's great to see him back in the lineup, as you mentioned. We were talking about that when he came out of the game. He started 111 consecutive games for the Gorlocks in those 3 years. And to see him come out of the game is not something you see every day for Mr. Swords. So good to see him back in the lineup after he had to come out briefly during the game.
Not something you see ever, not just every day.
And he's been a mainstay in the lineup for a good reason. He slugs the baseball for the Gorlocks, one of the powerhouses in Division III.
And it seems like he loves hitting around that 350, 360 mark. He's at 364. He's hit at least 350 every season for Webster.
And that'll keep you in the lineup, won't it?
Yeah.
You see a guy hitting 350 consistently, it's hard to not ink him down when you're scratching off that lineup card every single day.
There's a strikeout for Trosser. He gets Swords on the called third strike. 2 up, 2 down for Austin Trosser.
Just a really good pitch right there. That's righty on righty matchup. And early in the count, I think Trosser did a good job of coming in and establishing the fastball. And he's unpredictable with 2 strikes. It'll be interesting to see now how he works against the slugger from the left side here in the first inning. Trosser likely to just go 2 innings tonight. But he gets to see some really good hitters getting in a stressful situation, obviously, facing Wade Stouse, Ben Swords, who he just struck out, and Austin Schmidt, who's on deck.
And Stouse rips that one into right field. Almost gets past Piper down the right field line, and a 2-out scorcher of a base hit by Wade Stouse.
Because typically for these rising freshmen, okay, they want to monitor the workloads. They want to see the arms. But starting him in this ball game, you get to face the guy who leads the league in runs batted in. You get to face the guy who's tied for the league lead in home runs in the top of an order that's stacked for the Falcons. You wouldn't get that out of the bullpen mainly, or you don't know what you get. You could face the bottom of the order, but he gets to face the best of the best. And he's obviously shown he's one of those arms in this league as well.
Falcons as a team have hit 13 home runs in just 11 games. And the man at the plate right now, Austin Schmidt, has 4 of those long balls. Tied for the league lead in homers, leads and runs batted in with 14. And this is his 11th ball game.
Yeah, he has a great story, doesn't he? Originally attended Louisiana Monroe, played for Jeffco, and he was just crushing it. He really can tear the cover off the baseball and has a great commitment to Lindenwood, staying right in this local area now, and he's been really impressive, one of the more impressive hitters, one of the surprises. And it shouldn't be a surprise.
No.
He's been known to hit the baseball really well, and Lindenwood's getting themselves a great slugger, and also a great defender as well, as we've seen.
He and Wade Stouse split time at first and behind the plate. One will catch, one will play first, and then the next game they'll flip-flop. Schmidt is behind the plate for this ball game. Stouse at first base. They've hit consecutively in the order, seems like every single game, and for good reason. And he looks at ball 4, so a couple of 2-out base runners for Trosser to deal with. A couple of 2-out base runners. And Michael Long has a couple of home runs. He's shown the power, hitting both those home runs on breaking balls in 2-strike counts. He's driven in 6 and hit with those 2 home runs, 7 for 24, hitting just under 300. And that first pitch from Trosser is just a bit high. And a big swing and a miss from the MICDS graduate, Michael Long. Getting on base almost 40% of the time, slugging over 540. And that one just missed, maybe a touch low. So good hitters count here for Long, 2-1. With a couple of runners on base, Stouse at second, Schmidt at first. A base hit for Stouse and a walk by Schmidt. And that's popped a mile high into foul territory. Stallcup gives it a look, but it's out of play. So now a 2-2 count on Michael Long, looking to come through with 2 strikes and 2 away in the inning. RBI spot for him here. Outfield pretty much straight away, fairly deep for Long. Third baseman Randazzo protecting the line. The 2-2. Outside corner, 2 strikeouts in the inning for Trosser. He strands a couple of base runners, and we head to the bottom of the first. Eagles coming to bat. No score. You're watching Car Shield Collegiate League TV. To the bottom of the first we go. Eagles coming to bat. We'll read you their starting lineup. Kenny Piper leads things off. Justin Eads hits second. Peyton Leeper hits third. Noah Jacobson hits fourth. Damian Henderson is a designated hitter. He hits fifth. John Stallcup hits sixth. Ole Arnson hits seventh. Steven Randazzo hits eighth. And Aaron Hopp rounds out the order. Kenny Piper gets things started against Zach Karbowski, who's been very, very solid for the Falcons pitching staff so far this summer, making his fourth appearance, second start. Last time out against the Gems, tossed 3 innings, gave up 1 run, but it was unearned. 5 strikeouts, just 1 walk. 10 strikeouts and 1 walk in 6 innings so far for Karbowski. He went one inning his first outing, 2 his second outing, 3 his third outing. So you wonder if the first pitch, he and both his brother Ryan, both standouts at Quincy University in the outfield. And another standout in the outfield right here, Justin Eads.
He was off to a great start, hitting 300 plus, handful of home runs, has great power.
Prior to the stoppage this season, Eads was hitting .320, 13 ball games for the Hawks of Quincy. 4 homers, and he'd driven in 15 in just 13 games. Had 3 home runs on one day in a doubleheader. 2 home runs in the first game, 1 in the second game against Missouri St. Louis back on March 1st. And he hits that one out to second base. Hole on a hop. 4, 6, and 3. Roll him up. 2 away here in the bottom of the first. A sinking line drive off the bat of Justin Eads. Hole was kind of caught in between trying to catch that in the air, catch it on the hop. He played it on the hop, and probably the wise choice as he rolls the double play.
Good pitch right there to come inside on the hands, and Eads couldn't get extended on it. Hit it to the right side, and it looked like it was well struck for a second, but it kind of just died in front of the second baseman, and an easy roll up right there.
And now the switch hitting infielder, Peyton Leeper. He's had a nice start to this summer for the Eagles squad. 10 for 29 to start things off, getting on base over 45% of the time. And he has a base hit here right over the head of Karbowski as Leeper smokes that one into center field. Absolute missile right back up the middle, and a solid 2-out base hit. Well, both lineups have gotten solid base hits out of their 3-hole hitters. Austin Schmidt reached via the walk for the Falcons in the top half out of the 4 spot, and now Noah Jacobson looking to do some damage here out of the cleanup spot here in the first inning. Leeper got a good jump on that. He's going to swipe second. Nice job by Andrew Fay to back that one up, to keep that ball from going into center field.
And I like this Red Hawk tandem right here at 3-4. Peyton Leeper doing a good job this summer, and we know how well Noah Jacobson has swung the bat. And a couple of SEMO Red Hawks, 3-4 in Forrest Herman's order, and it's worked so far. They're in first place.
Playing up the middle at shortstop and second base. We've seen both of them at third base as well. Saw Jacobson at third yesterday, actually. Made a couple of nice plays over there. Natural shortstop out of Potosi. And a swing and a miss for strike 1. Jacobson 7 for 27. Just .259 the average, but getting on base 41% of the time. 2 home runs, 4 driven in, and he scored a team high 10 runs. The Eagles have scored 56 runs in 11 ball games. Just over 5 a game in these 7-inning ball games. And we've seen them have some late-inning magic. They're trying to get on the board first here. 1-2 count to Jacobson with 2 away. Leeper on second after advancing on the wild pitch. The 1-2. Down the third base line, just foul. And into the visitors' bullpen down the left field line. Visitors' bullpen in foul territory. They're in play down the left field line. the home bullpen out beyond the right center field wall, just beyond that short wall you see out in right center by that light tower. Only about 325 feet away from home plate. Sixth pitch of the at-bat coming here from Karbowski. Trying to get Jacobson here with 2 away. Leaper out at second. The 2-2. Long look by Karbowski. Now the 2-2. Chopped at the plate. So one SEMO Red Hawk trying to drive in another. Leaper out at second. Jacobson at the plate. Jacobson working a nice at-bat. He's fouled off a couple of 2-strike pitches. A couple of tough 2-strike pitches. Karbowski buzzed the tower a little bit. See what he goes to on another 2-2 offering. Here it comes. Instead, a check on the runner at second. Karbowski close to a balk right there. Barely got the left leg back over. Seventh pitch of the at-bat coming here to Jacobson. In the dirt, blocked nicely by Schmidt. One thing we've seen from Schmidt behind the plate, very quiet hands, smothers the baseball better than just about any catcher we've seen.
He has a great arm, too. We've seen him gun down some runners. You know, that throw in.
3-2, fouled away. We'll do it again.
Wide kind of when the runner tried to take the base earlier in the inning, but Schmidt's done a great job behind the plate as well.
This will be pitch number 9 of the at-bat coming to Jacobson. He's fouled off 3 2-strike pitches, now in a full count. The 3-2 from Karbowski. Fouled away.
This is an at-bat you like no matter what. If you're Forrest Terman, no matter the result, you've made Karbowski show your stuff inside the zone, outside the zone, up and down. He's had to work all 4 quadrants and work a full count and show multiple pitches in the first inning. That's a success for the Eagles right now, but make it better if they could punch in.
Another 3-2 coming to Jacobson. Called third strike. It took 10 pitches, but Karbowski finally gets Jacobson looking, and the Eagles strand a runner in scoring position. We head to the second. No score here on Car Shield Collegiate League TV.
Why is
Reminder this inning brought to you by our friends at Interco Recycling. Interco has been recycling non-ferrous industrial metals, batteries, computers, and electronics since 1996. Their 400,000 square foot, 45-acre facility is on the Illinois side of downtown St. Louis. So if your company has large amounts of scrap metals, batteries, computers, or electronics in need of recycling, you can give Interco a call at 1-877-258-3601 or on the web at itcscrap.com, 1-877-258-3601. As Andrew Fay looks at strike one, or itcscrap.com. Interco Recycling, a metaltronics recycler since 1996. Andrew Fay leads things off here in the second for the Falcons as he grounds that one. Arntzen a race to the bag, and Arnson wins it by about a half step. Trosser a little slow getting over there, and Arnson wins the race to the bag, beats the speedy Fay to first base.
And while you're doing that ad read, I mean, a lot of the fans, they can just open up a new tab, man.
It's that simple.
It's that simple.
Don't close the tab you're on right now.
Yeah,
just open a new one.
Yeah, it's that simple.
It's simple.
I've
Easy.
got so many texts during this summer. I got a ton of scrap metals, so it's been good that we've been able to get this help for people who have these scrap metals in need of recycling. So, very thankful for that partnership.
Mr. Bob Schellenberger and Interco, we thank you for their partnership here for this Car Shield Collegiate League season, as Trosser fields that one off the mound and fires on the first to retire Cade Hull.
You almost slipped there. Way to stay with that one. You come off and sometimes you practice PFPs on flat grounds, but a lot of times it's good and it's more useful to do it off the mound because of that reason. You don't know where you're going to land on each pitch, and you have to get ready. And Trosser does a good job of backhanding that one and firing it over to first, a couple quick outs.
As his catcher Stalk up, goes out to check on a couple of quick ground outs here for Trosser. He's gotten 3 ground ball outs in the first 5 outs he's gotten here in the first inning and 2/3. And now David Olenek will hit with nobody on and 2 away. Field, no doubt, still a little slippery after that rain we got just prior to game time. We had blue skies for a hot second there, and then the clouds have started to roll in again.
And then if you were getting ready to watch us at 5:30, we had that, 10 minutes where it just absolutely downpoured.
Just before game time.
It's smart because what Forrest Herman did is he pumped the brakes on Austin Trosser getting hot, because you don't want a pitcher going to get hot to throw at 5:30 when the game gets delayed for 5:45. So while the pitcher was getting ready in the early 5 o'clock hour, and he throws, before he throws his bullpen, okay, wait a second. And it was smart because the game got delayed.
Strikeout swinging for Trosser, a 1-2-3, top of the second. And a good inning there for Trosser. He's worked 2 scoreless. His Eagles come to bat. No score as we head to the bottom of the second. Damian Henderson leads things off, the designated hitter this evening for the Eagles. Henderson, Stalkup, and Arnson against Zach Karbowski. The Indiana State Sycamore gets ahead of Henderson, 0-1 on a swinging breaking ball. As we've mentioned a few times, Henderson, a recent signee of the Cincinnati Reds, a couple of days after he stepped on the mound for the first time in about 7 years and was throwing 95, 96 miles an hour. Missed a few games with the Eagles, came back and went 3 for 3 with a home run in his return.
Welcome back. He gets the juices flowing after signing to play professional baseball. And we mentioned Karbowski. He showcased some good stuff. He has a nice fastball up in the zone, but his arm action really plays, and his frame projects that he can throw even harder with the amount of velocity he already has. I know he's currently looking for a school in the transfer portal, and I know a good school can find him home.
Spent some time at Kellogg Community College, had a fantastic 2019 season for them. 2.3 earned run average in 27 in the third innings, 21 appearances for Kellogg as Henderson absolutely wallops that baseball to right center, and you can kiss that one goodbye. My goodness, Damian Henderson. Holy smokes, a solo shot for Mr. Henderson, and it's 1-0. Wow.
You can kiss that one goodbye, Shane. Isn't that right? We thought he had the farthest home run we've seen this summer to right field a few weeks ago, but that one could have done it.
My word.
That's something special right there. We know he has 96 from the left side, but he can also put it 450-plus feet. Wow.
Whew. Goodness gracious. That easily cleared the bullpen in right center. And one hopped into the trees just behind the right field bullpen. So now a 1-ball, no strike count. And if you're John Stalkup, how do you follow that? Leadoff home run in the second inning. An absolute bomb from Henderson. Second home run for him. Home run number 2, RBI number 2, 5th run scored for Henderson so far this summer. As Stalkup looks at strike one, the former Webster Grove statesman behind the plate, hitting 6th for the Eagles. And he'll follow the Damian Henderson solo. I don't know, you can even call that a home run? Like, as hard, like, what, you got to find something else.
Hey,
Missile,
it still just counts
bomb.
for one, Shane.
Counts just for one.
But the highlight
unfortunately,
reel, it counts for much more likes and retweets, won't it?
Oh, my word. If not the longest, one of the hardest hit balls we've seen leave the ballpark. Wouldn't have had the height, most likely, to get over that high right field wall, but where he hit it, that wall is only about 4 or 5 feet high.
And he has the crown for the 2 farthest home runs hit this summer and the highest velocity. So you love to see the power, the extreme ability to have great rotation. I mean, he's a great rotational athlete.
A strikeout for Stalkup. And the Reds already have themselves somewhat of a two-way player in Michael Lorenzen, a fantastic athlete, a fantastic pitcher. But we've also seen him play some in the field. Maybe Henderson's headed for that direction.
And we can't talk about two ways without talking about a guy we know on the Angels who's looking great.
Shohei.
Oh, man. They say he's looking better than ever before.
That's scary. That's scary stuff.
Scary. Throw 100, hit it 450.
Throw 100 miles an hour and you're the cleanup hitter.
And he's
Rookie of the year.
He's kind of the pseudo Shohei of this league. In the Garcia Collegiate League, but hey, he's going to the Reds organization, has a very bright future, and who knows what to do with him. Those are the players that are good at both. And a lot of times you want to focus on just one component of the game so you can refine it and be as good as possible at that one thing. But for him, it's, hey, we don't. Some guys, hey, we just got to see how it plays out.
That's ball 2 to Ole Arntzen. And you want to have him focus on one thing because it's hard to be good at both, especially when you get to the professional level. So you try to move him in one direction so he's a little more, can just focus on that one area instead of having to focus on two things. If you can focus on one thing, you can work a little more harder at it than if you're trying to pitch and you're trying to hit and you're trying to be good at both, it can be hard to find a balance.
And he reminds me of a more recent prospect, the 24-year-old who was the 3-hole and the ace for Louisville, Brendan McKay.
There's a strike to Arnson, full count. McKay hasn't had much experience at the big league level just yet. He's just getting started. But he's served as a designated hitter some. He's done some pitching as Arnson fouls that one away.
Yeah, but the first rounder in 2017, and it's sometimes where you mentioned you already get someone to crack the show like that from 2017 in McKay. It's a great thing to see for the organization that he's with, and we've seen somebody in this league already in that organization with the Tampa Bay Rays, and Plasmeyer, who we got to see pitch yesterday.
Man, are they building something special down there in St. Pete?
But
all the young prospects they have.
But he just came to my mind because it's kind of unheard of to be the 3-hole and then also be the ace of the team. It's hey, when are you taking ground balls, you have to monitor how many balls you're going to throw because hey, you may have to go pitch, but when you have extraordinary athletes who can do both, it's so impressive and it warrants conversation because of the fact that it doesn't happen all that often.
I mean, once you really get past high school, it's really uncommon. College, you see it some. McKay is an exception as he was amazing on both ends, the ace of the pitching staff and also the 3-hole hitter. That's a rare talent. As Arnson looks at strike 3, he thought he had ball 4. So back-to-back strikeouts, and Karbowski's bounced back nicely after the home run.
Yeah, Karbowski says, hey, don't talk about that home run too much. I'm going to come back and get back-to-back strikeouts, and that's the way you bounce back. A solo shot's not going to kill you. A solo shot, hey, our team has to score anyway to win. That thing, it's when you let that snowball and you start walking guys, hitting guys, losing command, and then giving up more things, and he's done a good job to limit it.
And a big swing and a miss from Steven Randazzo, the Drury Panther. Playing third base, hitting 8th for Forrest Herman this evening. So you go back to that home run. Yes, he hit it 400 some odd feet, but it only counts as one run. That's still only the second inning. So if you're Karbowski, just move on past it. You can't do anything about it. You gave it up. Now try your best to limit the damage. He's got an 0-2 count here on Randazzo. And a swing and a miss. He strikes out the side after the home run. But Damian Henderson gets the Eagles on the board in a huge way with a solo shot to right center. We head to the third. Will Kinerly will take you through the middle innings. 1-0 Eagles as we head to the third here on Car Shield Collegiate League TV.
This inning's brought to you by Interco Recycling. Interco's been recycling non-ferrous industrial metals, batteries, computers, and electronics since 1996. The company operates a 400,000 square foot, 45-acre facility on the Illinois side of downtown St. Louis. So if your company has large amounts of scrap metals, batteries, or electronics to recycle, call 1-877-258-3601. Or go to the web at www.itcscrap.com. Austin Chaucer, the Mizzou commit, win a couple innings, and he hands things off to Jackson Sigmund, the 6'2", 200-pound right-hander from Austin, Texas. He played his college ball at West Virginia, and he's played a little bit in the minor leagues with the Royals and Brewers organization, currently a free agent. He knows Carshield Field pretty well. He played for the River City Rascals in the parts of 2 seasons. As he gets that pitch inside to Brandon Olm, it will be the bottom of the order and then go to the top. Troy Bealsmith and then Ben Swords. So 9-1-2 due up for the Falcons, who trail by a run after the Damian Henderson solo shot. To lead off the second inning, Sigmund gets that one in for a strike. Played in the Frontier League for a couple seasons. He was passed in 2017 out of West Virginia. He gets a strike, a very hard-throwing right-hander. But he did very well in the Frontier League, and that's what caught the Brewers' eyes. That combined with his drive-line pro day, and the Brewers gave him another shot as he played with the Rocky Mountain Vibes in 2019. And signed with the Brewers last summer after doing well right here in the Frontier League, the home of the River City Rascals before the O'Fallon Hoots took over Carshield Field this year. Originally scheduled to play in the Prospect League. And the slider taken low. He has a very tight slider, quick short arm action, coupled with a nice velocity on the fastball. And as we mentioned, has spent some time in the minor leagues, currently a free agent as he goes upstairs with the fastball against Brandon Olm. So he's been everywhere, it seems like. He has a long story. That ball's sawed off to the right side from West Virginia to the Royals, to the Gateway Grizzlies, to River City. And he was in Double-A, in the Pioneer League, the minors with the Rocky Mountain Vibes and the Brewers. But nonetheless, he comes in here in the third inning, and that slider is taken for ball as Olm will reach on the free pass. Brandon Olm reaches first base here to start off the top of the third. That flips the lineup back to the top. Troy Bealsmith now to the plate. Troy Bealsmith, a DeSmet Jesuit High School graduate, started every game for the University of Evansville the past 2 seasons. This spring was his redshirt senior year. An all-MVC second team as a redshirt sophomore in 2018, where he led the team in batting average, slugging percentage, home runs, and doubles. He's also pitched in some games for the Aces as he faces Jackson Sigmund here. Sigmund, a ton of intent when he throws the fastball. You can pick it up potentially from the crowd microphone when you can hear him grunting on some pitches. You make it think sometimes we may be playing tennis, how you hear the sounds, but that's what that large intent is from Sigmund, who gets a ground ball 6-4, but safe at first. So Bealsmith on first, and Olm is cut down at second on the ground ball.
That was going to take a lot to get Bealsmith. Bealsmith runs exceptionally well out of the right-handed batter's box. So unless that ball was absolutely scorched at an infield, there's really no shot to turn two. But you got to make sure you get the lead runner.
Ben Swords comes to the plate. 974 career OPS at Webster University. And runner takes off. Bealsmith, who goes towards second. And he's cut down, so Sigmund steps off the mound, and Bealsmith trying to steal a bag, but doesn't work out for the Evansville Ace, and now there's 2 outs. Tried to be aggressive, tried to catch Sigmund sleeping, but it didn't work. He calmly stepped off the mound. Sometimes you see pitchers freak out in those situations, but Sigmund did a good job. And they applied the tag at second base for the second out. As Ben Swords here now hits with nobody on and 2 away in the top of the third. 1-0 ball game. The 1 run is the Damian Henderson home run. Last half, the Reds signee belted a far home run. Very deep into right field. We've seen him hit 2 balls this summer, some of the farthest home runs we've seen all summer long. And by the way, we've also seen him touch 96 from the left side off the mound as well. As Sigmund comes set and delivers the slider for a strike.
Man, what can't Henderson do? There's not a whole lot on a baseball field he can't do, and there's a reason he just signed a pro contract.
A swing and a miss right there, so a clean inning for Sigmund. We send it to the bottom of the third, 1-0, Eagles on top. (9-1-2) due up here in the bottom of the third inning. Eagles lead 1-0. Zach Karbowski back out for another inning of work. He was at Kellogg Community College, then Indiana State, now currently looking for a school in the transfer portal. Has a big frame. The right-hander features a nice breaking ball coupled with a fastball that has some tight spin rate. So he has the ability to live up in the zone. He has a big frame as well, so very projectable to even add more miles per hour. As Karbowski works against Aaron Hopp. Another thing we mentioned about Karbowski is he has coupled that good command of off-speed pitches, but also the fact that he has movement on the fastball when he doesn't need to climb the ladder. So he has a couple of tools in his toolbox, and that's why he can be a starter at the next level. In a lot of schools, obviously, he's trying to look at where he's going to take his talents as the Webster University dual sport athlete grounds out to start off the bottom of the third. Aaron Hopp retired. That brings up the top of the lineup. Kenny Piper due up.
And that pitch right there is the reason why he can be a starter. On a 2-0 pitch, he knows Hop's looking for a fastball, so he gives him a fastball, but it's in a location that he can't really do a whole lot with. It's got sinking action. It comes straight over the top, and that fastball just tumbles on you and bears in on a right-handed hitter. And he's going to get a lot of ground balls from right-handed hitters.
And he gets the breaking ball in there for the first strike to Kenny Piper. You mentioned 21 appearances out of the bullpen at Kellogg Community College, had 4 saves, worked as their closer in many capacities, had 27 in the third innings and a 2.3 ERA, along with 30 strikeouts. As that ball is smoked to left field, Kenny Piper has himself extra bases as he rounds first. He'll be going into second, standing up, rounding second with a stand-up double with 1 out. Now bring up Justin Eads, the Quincy University outfielder.
Boy, how good of a piece of hitting was that. Piper wasting no time, getting a pitch he likes early in the count and just putting an absolutely great swing on that and driving it into the left field corner.
And Kenny Piper was having himself a nice season. In 2020, he was hitting .425 with 9 home runs and 31 hits. It seems like he hasn't slowed down. The Columbia College standout now on second base as Justin Eads comes to the box with 1 away. Against Zach Karbowski, Eads grounded into a double play. Last time up, hit a slow ball to Cade Hull, who picked it up and tossed it over to Andrew Fay at short for the 4-6-3 double play. Eads hitting second in the order for Forrest Herman's lineup. He's been rotating guys in and out all summer long, giving everybody an equal opportunity to get some playing time and get their reps in.
And we've seen a lot of guys move around positions as well. We've seen guys play in the outfield and the infield, different spots in the infield, different spots in the outfield. So Forrest Herman just trying to get guys as much experience in as many situations as possible to get them ready for next season.
As Karbowski delivers the 1-1 pitch, it's fouled away to the right side. Karbowski has a big frame, but so does Justin Eads. He's 6'4", a very seasoned hitter, 220 pounds. Went to Parkway South High School, but he's seen a lot of pitches as he was in his senior season. Good plate discipline. He was hitting .320 at Quincy University during the shortened COVID-19 season at QU, and the Hawks, a big part of that outfield, along with somebody who's watching him tonight. We talked about his first at-bat, Nolan Snyder. Snyder and Eads manned the outfield for Josh Raby at Quincy University. As Eads takes that pitch low, Eads had 4 home runs as a Hawk and also 3 doubles. Had 16 hits and 50 at-bats, was a mainstay in the lineup. Now playing for the Eagles this summer. He's taking his talents back to Quincy University as he earned that extra year of eligibility with the shortened season. Ball scoots away from the catcher, Austin Schmidt. And now runners 90 feet away from extending the Eagles' lead, Kenny Piper.
And that's a big advance there, as now just all Eads has to do is just get a ball in play. That's not a pop-up on the infield, and that should bring in a run. That's a huge 90 feet, the difference between second and third, less than 2 outs. If you're on second base, you got to get a base hit to bring him in. Now all Eads has to do is put a ball in play, infield back here in the early innings. He knows what to do. He's a seasoned hitter. Just have a nice approach here with 2 strikes.
We'll see if Eads can't get the runner in. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And he takes the pitch and gets rung up for strike 3. So now 2 away. As that brings up Peyton Leeper.
But now even with 2 outs, another ball gets away. Piper's 90 feet away from scoring. Excellent speed on third base. If he's still on second base, Leeper would have to get a base hit to drive him in. Now Leeper can score on a wild pitch, pass ball, a balk. Never know.
The former South Callaway standout, Peyton Leeper, was a freshman for the SEMO Redhawks this past spring. We talk about dual threats tonight. He was a dual threat, 10-0 on the mound with a .6 earned run average. Named first team All-State for 4 straight years, was an all-conference and all-district MVP as a junior and senior. Had a .442 batting average as a senior, and as we mentioned, went 10-0 on the mound as well. Hitting third in the order as he belts this one toward right field. Olenek coming under it, catches it right before the warning track, and Karbowski strands a runner at third base. We're through 3, 1-0 Eagles. Just a reminder,
Wow.
this innings brought to you by Interco Recycling. Interco's been recycling non-ferrous industrial metals, batteries, computers, and electronics since 1996. They operate a 400,000 45 acres facility on the Illinois side of downtown St. Louis. If you or your company got large amounts of scrap metals, batteries, or electronics to recycle, you can call Interco Recycling at 1-877-258-3601 or on the web, www.itcscrap.com. Currently in a rain delay. During the break, we saw some lightning. That's 30 minutes that there will at least be a rain delay. So check back with us around 7:15, and we'll potentially have updates for you at CarShield CL on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We will provide updates for you there as well. It's a 1-0 ball game. The Eagles on top. The sole run is Damian Henderson. Solo shot. For Charlie Bornoff and Shane Holsey, I'm Will Connolly. We'll stay tuned with you. Rain delay is on tap. So stay tuned with us. If you have any questions, drop it in the comments, add us on social media or anything else. But we'll keep you updated and be back in about 30 minutes on the rain delay. Just a brief update. There is still a rain delay. We've had lightning loom around the area, so every lightning strike, it's 30 minutes from then, so we're not sure when or if we will get back, but we do have a treat for you. Introduce yourself, Mr. Zach. Come on now. I got a special guest on us here at the Stadium Operations.
As we have some downtime here.
Yeah, for sure.
Will
What's your official title?
I am the Stadium Operations Manager here.
Stadium Operations Manager. I wanted to make sure I got that right, so we got off to a good start. But I know Stadium Operations Manager Zach McKinley on with us during the rain delay. So for all you guys watching, I wanted to just ask you, first off, what's the day-to-day look like for you as a Stadium Operations Manager?
It's definitely a lot. You definitely early hours for sure. You come here probably 7 a.m., get things rolling. We have a lot of events rented out for the field. So before games, we always have something going on. Definitely a lot of field work, dragging, sweeping, making sure everything's ready to go for the players. Check on the turf, of course. There's a lot of turf to fix up. But other than that, we just do a lot of cleaning, making sure everything looks good for all the people.
Amen to that. And you love making this place look great every single day, because you were thinking about when you were getting ready for this summer, you're thinking being in the Prospect League, you weren't going to use this facility every single day. So now your workload is a little higher, but you got to absolutely love it doing what you love, being the manager of Stadium Operations here, don't you?
Absolutely. I love running around like this. It's a little hectic, but hectic's good.
And we were mentioning it earlier, you love running around. As this press box has become very full, Mr. Cromer's in the press box. We may have to get him on for a little rain delay interview as well, but you love running around, and running's your background as you were a standout athlete for the Lindenwood Lions running a lot. So
Yes,
does
sir,
this
yes,
kind of
sir.
feel similar, running around and making sure everything's in place?
Different clothing, I should say. Normally I was in short shorts running around, but no, nonetheless, a lot of running, a lot of hectic moving, real busy. Love it, though. Love it.
And what have you learned so far this summer, as it's kind of been every single day getting after it in terms of putting something together in such a short amount of time? It kind of took all hands on deck to be able to say, hey, we're going to have a 6-team league in this unique situation because of the events that transpired in the event that the Prospect League was canceled.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, the old Falcons Hoots is a stand-up workplace. You know, everyone in the front office staff has a lot of fun on a daily basis, and we're there for everyone. Everyone helps out everyone. But yeah, as you mentioned, the Prospect League canceling was quite a shock, but at the same time, expected. But as we took that and just rolled with it, kind of made the best of the situation we were given. And, you know, now we have the Car Shield Collegiate League, which is, in my personal opinion, doing a great job so far. You know, we got a lot of good people here helping out, making it the best we can, and just trying to bring baseball back to O'Fallon.
Yeah, and you work under the direction of some great staff here,
Absolutely.
Mr. David Schmoll, Tom Bauer,
Yep.
The director of the operations. You're the manager, Mr. Schmoll, and J.C. Clemens, assistant general manager. Some great people that you work with here,
Absolutely.
Isaiah. And so
Absolutely.
it's a great atmosphere and workplace. But I wanted to do a little segment with you. I'm going to say a word, and then you're going to tell me the first word that comes to your mind, all right?
Watch out, people.
Okay. Hard work.
Work ethic.
Consistency.
Crazy.
Discipline.
Worth it.
Execution.
Needed.
Running.
Fun.
Lindenwood Lions.
Best college ever.
Oh, man. That's Mr. Zach McKinley, manager of Stadium Operations, coming on. You thought I was joking the first time I wanted to get you
Definitely.
on when we had a rain delay, but I absolutely love the hard work, consistency, discipline that you have, and that's why I brought all those words, because you do that every single day, making this place clean, and you don't get enough credit for how wonderful of a job you do. So from my heart to yours and to all of the O'Fallon Hoots family and all the teams in this league, thanks for all the work you do, because you're just a tremendous human being.
I appreciate that. You guys do a good job on this broadcast as well.
Thank you so much. So thanks for everyone joining. We had a great interview with Mr. Zach McKinley, manager of stadium operations, but now public address announcer for most of these Frenzy games that you guys may have heard at CarShield Field this summer. But the voice of St. Charles, Mr. Mike Cromer,
Hey, buddy.
joining us.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
It's doing. I tell you what. I'm having fun. Somebody asked me if I was announcing tonight, and I said no. I was just up here as a fan tonight. I was actually scheduled to umpire 2 games, youth games here in the area. Those got rained out.
Oh.
And it's my son's team night up here, the Midwest Rebels. Their team night up here. You see a lot of the green jerseys running around. In fact, of course, my son is out here dancing in the rain as well.
Oh, man.
But anyway, it's their team night up here. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to run up there, just hang out as a fan and catch some baseball action. It's always, as you were telling me, tell me how the experience is from a fan standpoint. I always have fun. And in fact, even before, the Hoots and the CarShield League were around, the Rascals were here for, of course, 20-plus years. And even before I was announcing with the Rascals, my son, he was pretty young at that point, he and I would just come up here and just, because it's good baseball. And in fact, speaking of good baseball, I'm like chasing squirrels all over the place here, aren't I? David, you mentioned David Schmall in your previous interview. I talked to David about a week before the first CarShield League games were played, and he was telling me about the quality of baseball that we were going to see. And, boy, he was dead on. We've seen some fantastic baseball games out here.
Haven't we?
Yeah.
I mean, they've been close games, and there have been some great players as well. And you've been able to belt out the starting lineups and all. You've been the public address, and you've been doing that for a very long time in this area. Talk a little bit about your background being a PA announcer and radio broadcaster as well.
So full-time, my daytime job is a 5th grade teacher in the Francis Hall School District. And before I was a teacher, I worked in radio for a little bit of time, for about 6 years. I left that industry in about 99, I think. Yeah, 1999. How old were you then?
Just 1 year old. One.
Had to give you no. And so anyway, I leave in 1999, work on my teaching degree, get hired in 2005 by the Francis Hall School District, get my teaching career going, launched and everything like that. About 2011, yeah, that's when I kind of started playing around with announcing again. Did some internet broadcasting, and then as you know, the doing a play-by-play, it's a lot of work, prep work, right? And so my kids were really young, teaching as well. That takes a lot of work as well, obviously. And so I was like, you know what, this play-by-play stuff, trying to be a full-time teacher as well as a dad, was just too much. So I started reaching out to local athletic directors. And I had done public address announcing years ago. And I was like, hey, here's who I am. Here's my background. Used to work in radio, blah, blah, blah. And everything has taken off, And I've had so much fun doing it just part-time, not as my profession anymore, but just something to have fun, make a little bit of extra money. And to be honest with you, I love hanging out in press boxes. Some of the conversations we have in here when we're not on the air,
oh man,
they're pretty fun. Some of them we can air, some of them maybe not. But I have a blast in here, whether it's here, previously with the Rascals and now with the CarShield Collegiate League, over at Howell Central where I do a lot of work, Maryville University where I do a lot of work. I have such a blast, getting paid to watch sports and then hanging out with guys and gals who enjoy watching sports as well.
And you mentioned the press box. You got an interesting group of characters in here a lot of the time.
Yeah.
You got Mr. Jeff Stallhuth. You got a couple others that score the games.
Yeah.
You got a guy who does great public address work as well, Mr. Andrew Marsh, who does it for the nightcaps a lot of the time when the Hoots are playing. I mean, you two both have incredible voices. Did you always have just beautiful pipes, or how did it get that way?
It's funny. Part of it is I listen to people talk. I'll pay attention to their voice. And, I think a lot of people have great voices, okay? I think I get my voice from my dad. He has a great voice as well. What maybe a difference is I've been using my voice for nearly 30 years now. And the more you do this as a young guy getting started out, you'll learn when to inflect in the proper enunciations and stuff like that. Which, by the way, you guys, and I know you and Shane, you guys do a phenomenal job, because I've heard a lot of young broadcasters sit up here. They I don't know. I can be pretty critical of announcers, whether they're public address announcers, play-by-play guys. Some guys tend to get overexcited sometimes. You guys, and the knowledge you guys have of the players here at Carshield Field is phenomenal. I'm like sitting over there listening to you guys. I'm like, how the heck do they know this stuff? So you guys really do a phenomenal job, and you guys have a great future in this.
Oh, wow.
And you guys have the best producer here as well.
He has to get mentioned all the time, and that's actually a funny story now that we talk about it. Shane and I go to school together. Charlie goes to school with us as well. We're in a group message. We talk some of the time about just random stuff.
Gotcha.
This thing popped up with the Carshield League. Hey, we're going to have 90 games in 40-something days. We're going to need some help.
Right.
So I got Shane,
Gotcha.
and then we texted Chucky. We call him Chucky B. But we texted Charlie and said, hey, you want to come produce? And
Right.
he's never done any of this before.
Wow.
But, I mean, he calls it just pushing buttons, but he really makes the broadcast
Right.
so much better. Because
Right.
when you're watching a game, you want to know what the count is
Sure.
and the score is.
Absolutely.
And sometimes people watch the game with the announcer noise off. Maybe they don't want to hear some dudes talk. So
Right.
it helps to have a visual component, and Mr. Bornoff does a great job at it as well. But you mentioned the great baseball here, and it's
Oh, gosh,
interesting
yeah.
because the minor leagues getting canceled has
Right.
offered, half dozen minor
Right.
leaguers to play in this league. And you see the likes of a first-round draft pick. You see
Sure.
a couple fourth-round picks. I mean, how does this baseball compare to some baseball you've seen in past years?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, it's right up there. I mean, it really is. And getting to see some of the guys that I saw come through high school with my announcing, especially over at Carshield or at Howell Central High School, and then I've done plenty of Missouri State High School Activities Association championship games out here at Carshield Field. A guy like Luke Mann, oh my goodness, and he's tearing it up. He is tearing it up. So guys that I've seen in previous years, and that's one thing I told actually Scott Harris, the activities director over at Howell Central High School. I was like, come out and watch some games, because to me, St. Charles County is a hotbed of youth and amateur baseball, being in the suburbs of St. Louis and such a great fan base of the Cardinals, that a local team, high school team, year in and year out, one of them is making a deep run in the high school playoffs. So I've seen a lot of these players come up through the high schools, go on to college, and then getting to see them now here, such good quality baseball talent out there.
Yeah, and I feel like this whole situation, it kind of shows that a lot of these players, most of them were in college.
Right.
And the college season starts in about February, but they only got a couple months before their season got shut down.
Sure.
And so they have a little bit of time off before they come to play this summer. And I think an interesting thing to see is, okay, what were they doing during that time? Because in
Right.
the
Oh,
offseason in
absolutely.
baseball, that's the biggest separator usually.
Right.
Like, how do you utilize your offseason to work on a skill or
Right.
at least maintain what you have so you can perform at a high level? And during this offseason time, it was a unique situation because players had to get creative. I mean, some things were closed down, some facilities that they
Sure,
train at.
absolutely.
So it's cool to see that. We're still seeing guys perform at a pretty high level,
Oh, yeah.
although they didn't have all the tools that was necessarily at their disposal. And I think that's been like the most interesting storyline looking
Right.
at, because we try to, at least when we broadcast this, and I don't know how you feel about it, but we try to recognize that, hey, there's not a lot of baseball going on in the nation. And
Right.
we want to get into the nitty-gritty of what's going to happen in a 1-2 count. But really, all 6 teams are on the same team right now because
Right.
baseball is back. And that's one of the reads that you do for the public address.
Right,
You say
absolutely.
baseball is back. And so that's, I think, the number one most important thing. And we talk about professional baseball. It's
Right.
coming back in a few days as
Right.
well. Are you excited for that?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. You know, tomorrow night the Cardinals and Royals have a little scrimmage or exhibition game at Busch Stadium, and then you know what? And you know, I'm sure you know, regular opening day at Busch Stadium. I mean, it's a St. Louis holiday more or less. And even though fans won't be in attendance and there won't be the pep rallies and whatnot and the tailgating and stuff like that, I think the St. Louis area is going to still make it special. You know, they're going to be having their own, I guess, in-home parties and whatnot. I mean, I know I plan on, you know, sitting down and watching, you know, even though it's not, I guess it's a new norm. And, you know, I think we're going to have a blast with, you know, we have, as a society generally, we have found ways to entertain ourselves, modify things that we've done in the past, such as a drive-in concert that they had over at the Hollywood Casino recently, those concerts a couple weekends ago. You know, things don't look the same. Things look different. And I think come Friday night for the Cardinals, their regular season opener, a lot of people will still have a lot of fun with it, even though we don't have the traditional pep rally and whatnot.
One thing that I thought was interesting when I look at these situations from the scope of a broadcaster is how only the home broadcasters, the home radio and home television, those are the only broadcasters who will be there.
Right.
The away broadcasters, some of them will be in their home stadium, in their home booth.
Right.
Like, for example, I was listening on the MLB app last night. The Angels playing the Padres, right?
Yep.
And if they're in Los Angeles, the Padres announcers were at Padres baseball park while they're playing in L.A.
Right.
And they're there in an empty stadium.
Yeah.
Color guy, play-by-play guy in two separate booths.
Yeah.
So, and also they're calling the game off a feed. They're getting crowd noise from a whole different stadium.
Right.
They're getting that pumped into their broadcast, which I think is a great idea because having no crowd noise, how bad would that's what I have my reserved opinions for it, but I think it'd be terrible because of the fact that one thing I think that not a lot of people think about is it'd be artificial, but these players compete so hard, and it's going to come down to they're going to say some words that aren't going to be very good for broadcast, I feel like, a lot of the time. And so I was listening. I think it actually sounds like a normal baseball broadcast when I listen on the radio.
Right.
And I've watched on TV, and it's kind of interesting to have some of those cutouts of the fans. But really, I think the broadcasts are going to be interesting because maybe that's a way that the industry could trend. Hey, if we can make this work with less travel, it's less money.
Absolutely.
Hey, if you can call it off a monitor, what do you think? Do you think there's any implications in 2020 about the future trajectory of broadcasting and baseball in specific?
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know, ESPN had a game on the other night at Wrigley Field. The Cubs, I can't remember. I guess they may be playing the White Sox, and that's exactly. And they actually had the broadcasters, I think, in 3 different locations, maybe.
Yeah.
Some game. I don't know if you've caught on ESPN as well. Early in the morning, if you get up early in the morning.
KB.
The KB League. They've had some games on there where the broadcasters are watching on a feed, like you're mentioning, and just broadcasting as if we're there watching it in person. And so, in sports, play-by-play, society, in general, moving forward, this very well could have some very long-term changes to how we live. So
I could wake up, make the eggs, and then go to my bedroom and start calling a game.
Right, yeah. You could do your do all your prep work and everything the night before, wake up, do your eggs in the morning. Take your cold shower in the morning, and go call your baseball game.
That'd be fun. I mean, I think that I don't think that's ideal, but I feel like none of this is.
No,
right? And who knows what the future's going to look like?
Well, loving sports as I do, loving history, and I love sports history. Back in the old days. Really, even before radio broadcast or before TV broadcast, radio guys sometimes would not travel with the team, and they would get messages, not telegraph, maybe Morse code messages from where the ball game was taking place, and they would take the Morse code and recreate the broadcast like that.
Yeah.
So a little bit different, obviously, back 100 years ago, maybe 100 years ago, that, they were recreating it that way. And so, luckily we have the visual picture nowadays here in 2020. We'll see.
Well, yeah, because I've heard a coach say when adversity strikes, there's always an opportunity.
Right.
And I think there's an
Absolutely.
opportunity for growth within the industry in terms of getting creative about the ways they integrate more video things in their
Sure.
software, how they could be more remote, how they can do more things to be more creative when you do get fans or you do get these different things that come back. And I think, like for some of these pitchers, hey, there's an opportunity for this off time for you to get better.
Right.
When the adversity equals an opportunity, it just
Sure.
a lot of times you can't see it at first. And I know a lot of seniors, hey, your season's done. Hey, they never thought they'd play again. And that's why I'm glad this league happened for a lot
absolutely.
of these guys, because I felt that same way. We're playing in my senior season
Sure.
this past spring. But like you mentioned, I think there's a potential opportunity for the trajectory of what the industry is doing. But like you said, I love sports, and you love sports as well.
Right.
You're here on your off night from public
Right.
addressing, and we knew that you were pretty busy. You're doing a lot of things right now, trying to
Absolutely.
work on a couple different things, being a
Right.
teacher, trying to deal with what's going to happen in the fall, also public addressing, and working on getting your license for real estate as well.
Right.
You're a busy man, but you can't get away from the ballpark too much,
Oh,
can
gosh,
you?
no, never. In fact, that's one thing I mentioned months ago when society had shut down and, sports were canceling and, my involvement in high school sports and that got canceled. I said, once things start opening up, one of the very first things I want to do is go see a baseball game. And I don't, and at that time, I was like, I don't care if it's a T-ball game down the road at the park. I just want to see some form of baseball at that point. But yeah, it's funny. I'll go back and forth between written planners and my phone. And if you looked at my planner for July, you would not believe I'm a teacher on summer break here. Because, yeah, as you mentioned, it's so busy. But, yeah, I mean, here on my off night, I was like, hey, it's my son's team night out here at Carshield Field. I'm going to go out and enjoy it as a fan tonight.
Did you think you'd get on the air tonight?
No, not at all.
And
Not in my
pleasant surprise?
Yeah, pleasant surprise. It's fun. Yeah, I was telling you guys earlier, back in my radio days, my football, my basketball play-by-play, I would have put up there with anybody. My baseball, which is my passion, I was awful at. I think I could do much, much better now at this age in life experience and whatnot. But I was awful at it. So thanks for the opportunity to come on air. Talk
for
a
sure.
little baseball.
Hey, someday we got to switch.
That's right. We got to switch roles here.
I'll talk to general manager, see if we can work that out.
We'll do like a little fire drill thing, like people do at stoplights. Jump out and switch around one day.
For sure. But
that'd be fun.
I like if getting that takeaway, people getting to learn about you, kind of unwrapping. They hear the big voice, but we get to have a little conversation with you
fun.
because it. And I think I like how you mentioned baseball and how you want to go back to baseball.
Right.
And with the nation being so polarized right now, I think baseball could be one thing to bring a lot of people together.
They're getting ready. Are they getting ready to go take the field? Or I guess they just warming
Who
up.
knows? And Shane Olsey just entered back into the press box.
Hey,
my partner on air. He's a little wet right now.
You
was
should have
raining.
seen him busting some moves out there in the
was?
rain. Real quick, and I'll let you get back with Shane here in a moment. You're right about what you're saying about sports bringing people together. A couple of years ago, I was talking to a friend, and at that point in my life, 2 years ago, I was questioning my passion for sports, and sorry, we're getting distracted up here in the press box at Carshield Field. But anyway, I was kind of questioning my passion. I was going through some things in life, and I was questioning my passion for sports. Because there are more important things out there in life. You mentioned a lot of polarizing things going on right now in society, and we're dealing with a lot of issues as a society. And so, there are more important things in life. And so I brought that up to a friend of mine and I said, should I still be announcing? And he's like, absolutely, you should. Because sports bring communities together. There are different ways how we can work together to bring people together. Our way is through sports. Other people do it in different ways. I know for me, again, sports can bring people together.
40,000 people at Busch Stadium.
Exactly.
Wow.
And on Friday nights when I'm over at Howell Central High School announcing, we have, how high school
They
sports
pack
are.
the sport.
Yeah, they pack it. And so it is. It
the whole
can bring-
community, too.
Right.
Wow, you make a great point.
So, it brings people together. So, yeah, absolutely.
The whole society, I mean, you bring the Olympic, you look at people all gravitating towards these figures.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people were involved in some type of youth sports growing up.
Right.
I'm sure you were.
Oh,
You
yeah.
were a
Absolutely.
standout athlete,
Oh,
weren't you?
it's funny if yeah, I played all through high school baseball, and I was probably decent enough to play beyond high school if I really would have, at least at a junior college. But beyond that, I knew as a player I wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't going to make the minor leagues. I wasn't going to make Quincy. But I was always in. I wouldn't have. I wasn't that good. I was good early, especially if there was a Hall of Fame for backyard wiffle ball. Oh, I'd be in that Hall of Fame. All right, but size. Lack of size for me eventually caught up in high school, and I get that. I was still a decent and adequate high school baseball player, though. So.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on
Oh,
during
it's been
this
a
rain
blast.
delay. We
Let's
ought
get
to
back
do it
to Shane.
again.
Absolutely,
We got to
sir.
get back to Shane. He's a little wet, so
Have you dried
he's
off, buddy?
busting some dance moves with a lot of the other interns here. But it looks like we're going to get back to play in a little bit. We'll give you another update in a few moments, but teams are warming up, and baseball will be back. Mr. Cromer, thank you so much for coming on. We'll be back with you in a little bit and give you an update on when first pitch is coming up. First pitch will be at 7:35. It's 7:28 now, so hang tight just a few moments. Chucky B and Shane Holsey, Will Connerly will be with you in just a few minutes. Baseball is going to be back after the rain delay. 1-0 Eagles are on top, and we're going to get things rocking and rolling coming up here after a little rain delay. Andrew Mark, Jess Dahlhu, Charlie Bornoff, Shane Holsey, Will Connerly, Mr. Hodges as well, Dawson Taylor on the mound. We got a full slate crowded here in the press box. We were through the thick of the rain delay, Shane, and you were through the thick of it as well. You got a little wet, but
Yeah.
us, Dawson Taylor, we get a treat. After the rain delay, we get to see a hard-throwing right-hander, a huge upside potential after the delay. Love to watch this guy work on the mound.
Throws hard. Good stuff. He's going to be fun to watch. Hopefully, there's some more rain coming. Hopefully, we can get at least a couple innings here before the rain comes again. There's more rain on its way.
Oh, we don't talk about that. Come on.
I just looked at the radar. That's just what I saw. I can't help it. I can't stop it. I wish I had the power to stop it, but I don't.
What about hope?
There's always hope. There's always hope.
Come on, man. We're in a baseball game, man. Come on now. The Edwardsville High School graduate taking the
Just
mound.
being
now.
realistic.
I don't like it. What about optimistic?
You can be optimistic and realistic at the same time.
All right. As Taylor throws his warm-up pitches. Dawson Taylor, the Edwardsville High School standout, 6'4", 215, big frame. John A. Logan in 2020 had 5 appearances, 3 saves, a big back-end arm. 16 strikeouts in 12 innings, had 3 saves for the Vols. And he's got a big-time arm now taking the mound. Top of the 4th inning, he'll face 3, 4, 5, Stouse, Schmidt, and Long. Top of the 4th. And, Shane, you do mention that rain may be coming, but to get an official game, you have to go 3.5 innings. So we were just 3 outs away from making this one official, and we still are now. It's Dawson Taylor. Delivers the pitch to Wade Stouse. Stouse singled back in the first, which was a long time ago. Off of Austin Trosser. Trosser through the first 2 innings. Sigmund notched an inning, and now it's Dawson Taylor right back at you. Makes the play at short, throws it over to first, but safe. What a play there by Noah Jacobson.
A lot going on
And
in
watch
that
out, Dawson Taylor, as that ball almost got him. Jacobson dives, but the throw over not in time. Wade Stouse gets on base.
Oh, a lot going on that play. He hit the deck, Dawson Taylor. And then Jacobson behind him lays out for it up the middle.
Jacobson's probably pissed off at his teammate. Wade, that's why are you making me dive up the middle on the first after the restart. Both SEMO standouts as Austin Schmidt comes to the plate.
Probably got a little wet up there, too. It's like, you're already making me dive on this wet turf.
The old slip and slide.
Nothing like it.
A swing and a miss on the first offering from Dawson Taylor. Very heavy fastball from the right-hander.
That's the optimum word, heavy. Comes right at you. Steps straight back. One of the few pitchers we see that'll step straight back and then come back straight forward. Most pitchers step off to the side a little bit. He pretty much steps straight back when he's working from the windup, of course, now working from the stretch.
A firm fastball at 92 miles an hour gets the swing and a miss. A ball and 2 strikes. Taylor, a guy with a ton of potential. You could potentially see him get drafted by some major league teams moving forward just because of the heavy fastball that he has. Coupled with good command of off-speed pitches, he's in the zone quite a bit. And that's why you see those strikeout numbers very high for the right-hander. A ball and 2 strikes to Austin Schmidt. He tries to climb the ladder. Dawson Taylor, 4 innings, so far this summer, and he's yet to surrender a run. 6 strikeouts in 4 innings, no runs, and just 3 walks. And he gets another one.
Nothing fancy, just a fastball paint on the outside corner. And really nothing Schmidt can do except walk back to the dugout.
You love it when a pitcher gets a fastball strikeout look, and here's my fastball, try and hit it, and the try wasn't there. Got caught looking on the cheddar.
Usually when you get caught looking on a fastball, you're sitting on something else. Don't know if that was the case with Schmidt or he just thought it was going to be outside and it just clipped the outside corner. But either way, when you get caught looking on a fastball, that means the pitcher had you fooled.
First time we saw Taylor on July 3rd, an inning, 3 strikeouts. He struck outside. He was electric. He went 2 innings against the Cavemen and then started against the Cavemen and just went 1 inning. This is his 4th appearance, 4 innings prior to this one, 1 start, 2 other relief appearances. But he's more of a short inning guy. He'll go just a couple innings usually. He was a closer for the Vols, getting a couple of saves in 2020.
Your bullpen max effort type guy. He's going to give it all he's got for an inning or 2. Don't want to work him much more than that.
As Michael Long comes to the plate, University of Central Missouri, one of the most powerful Division IIs in the country. Every single year, one of the best D2s across the board. That's where he spends his time. He was a freshman this past season there. Didn't log any statistics, but we know he had lofty statistics at MICDS, which got him to the perennial powerhouse in Division II. Andrew Fay is next. He nearly hit 500 as a senior. Got on base 63% of the time for MICDS, but he swings through that fastball on the black. The right-hander does a great job to hit glove side consistently with the fastball, and now has 2 strikes on Michael Long. With 1 away and 1 on, Wade Stouse reached on the single. Noah Jacobson, the shortstop, kept it in the infield, but Stouse was safe at first. The pitch is hit right back up the middle, smoked, and runners on first and second after the single from Michael Long.
Not much of a chance there for Jacobson. That ball was hit a little too hard for him to make a dive on that. And you saw as it maybe couldn't see it on the camera angle, but we could see it from here. The ball spraying up water as it went into the outfield. Yeah, we can play on this turf right after it rains, but that doesn't mean it's not wet.
As Andrew Fay, the John Wood Blazer, he comes to the plate. 1-0, the Eagles on top. The sole run was a Damian Henderson home run. And Shane, that was a long one. We had to get the tape measures out for that one. Runners on first and second. A swing and a miss on the first offering from the hard-throwing right-hander Dawson Taylor. Fay takes that pitch low. The 5'10", 150-pound Winsville Liberty High School graduate. The last 2 seasons was at John Wood Community College, hit .281 with a home run, 6 stolen bases as well. He takes that pitch up and in the shortened season in 2020. He recorded a save and struck out 9 hitters as well. He's committed to play at the NAIA Indiana University Southeast. He was 18. That team was 18-1 in 2020 and currently ranked 12th in the nation. So he's going to an NAIA powerhouse out of John Wood, where he spent the last couple of years, but he pops out to the shortstop. Noah Jacobs in for the second out. Runners on first and second, 2-1 and 2 away for Cade Holt, the Purdue commit.
When we talk about these NAIA schools, there's a lot of talent that goes NAIA that kind of flies under the radar and on terms of a national scale. there's plenty of talent at the NAIA level. A lot of baseball, a lot of good baseball. NAIA, you play anywhere in college, you're playing some high-quality baseball.
Now Cade Hull, the SLU graduate and Purdue commit, coming to the plate. We saw him launch an opposite field home run. He's a new addition to this Falcons infield. He fouls that one away to the right side. A ball and a strike, 2 away, 2 on. Here in the top of the 4th inning. If Dawson Taylor can record this out, this would make this game technically official in the event that a rain would come again. A good upper 80s, low 90s fastball that Taylor's been able to feature tonight. The nightcap featuring the Cavemen and the Hoots. As Taylor, his pitch gets grounded to the right side. Cade Hull has himself a single. Wade Stouse is coming around to score, but he's dead meat at the plate. Kenny Pipers throws on the money. John Stalkup doing a good job to turn around and apply the tag as Hull gets a single, but Wade Stouse cut down at the plate. 1-0 Eagles. We send it to the bottom of the 4th. Grayson Sen now on the mound, the 6'2", 195-pound pitcher, but he has some nice hair, doesn't he, as well, bringing out the flow. Made his first ever collegiate appearance this year as a freshman at Central Missouri. He's a MICDS graduate and Central Missouri athlete, just like Michael Long is as well, his left fielder right now as he enters the ball game. First pitch is spiked. After Zach Karbowski worked 3 innings, he looked pretty good tonight. Shane just let up the 1 home run to the guy on deck, Damian Henderson.
We might have seen him out there for the 4th inning had we not had that rain delay, but you don't want to send him out in this situation after 3 innings and sitting for about an hour.
That would just be irresponsible right there if you're going to do that to a pitcher, and that's why you have to monitor that closely. When a guy gets hot, he gets ramped up, and then cools down, and that's why a lot of major league teams now monitor how many pitches a pitcher throws in the bullpen, how many times he gets up. Obviously, there's game management, and you have to look at specific things, but guys definitely look at that and how the workloads throughout the year can affect everything.
And that's something you don't really look at. You look at the number of pitches a guy throws during the game, but you got warm-up pitches, you got the warming up before the game, you got those pitches in the bullpen, you have warm-up pitches in between innings. Start off with 8 the first time and then 5 as you go throughout the game. So that's an extra, say you go 6 innings, that's an extra 30 or so pitches that you're throwing on top of the pitches you're throwing in-game, plus the pitches you threw in warm-ups.
You got to get that arm strong. The whole body's strong, the arm, the legs, all the mechanics have to be working very fluidly as Noah Jacobson gets belted by Grayson Sen and reaches on the hit by pitch. Sen hits the first batter he sees, and now Damian Henderson comes up, launched a ball. A long gone baseball. When we say we can kiss that one goodbye, we aren't going to find it again.
Nobody's finding that
Nope.
baseball unless you want to take a swim in the creek back there in those trees.
He hit it over the bullpen. Well cleared the bullpen into those trees. As Sen hits Jacobson, and now comes set for the first offering to Damian Henderson. A swing and a miss. Henderson gets some when he's at the plate.
Mm-hmm.
He swings
That's right.
the bat with some great authority, great intent, just like he has on the mound. Grayson Sen likewise does the same. The freshman made an appearance for one of the best Division IIs in the country. That pitch is missed low. Austin Schmidt thought about throwing it down. But that's a stolen base brought to you by the O'Fallon Family YMCA, the Y for healthy living, youth development, and social responsibility. So on second base is Noah Jacobson, who reached on the hit by pitch here in the bottom of the 4th inning, a 1-0 ball game. Eagles on top because this guy hit a solo shot. Damian Henderson, the Reds signee. A ball and a strike with a runner in scoring position for the left-hander. It's fouled away. That ball's popped up to the left side, but it will drop foul, so another life for Damian Henderson. The California State University Bakersfield two-way athlete coming here in the Car Shield Collegiate League. And then signing with the Reds, Forrest Herman, the manager for the Eagles, a minor league pitching coach for the Reds. If you look at the Reds this year, they've got a good shot in that NL Central in a 60-game season. A good pitching staff that they have. And some people even say they may be the favorite. Us Cardinal fans likely to disagree. Also, you see Brewers could be somebody to look at, but it's fun to now look at what the NL Central could potentially look like in 2020 in this sprint that we're getting ready to start in a couple days. It's going to be fun.
It's fun to finally have those conversations. We've been wanting to have those conversations. We were having them about 4 or 5 months ago, and COVID kind of put a halt to them, and we were wondering, will we ever see baseball again on the field? Well, we've seen it here for now 3 weeks, and now finally Major League Baseball getting started later this week. So it's fun to have those conversations. It almost feels like we're returning to a maybe not complete normalcy, but at least a resemblance of normalcy.
We were talking about that with Mike Cromer, the public address announcer for a long time. He does the Frenzy games, his afternoon games. Him and Andrew Marsh do a wonderful job on the public address. And talked about how baseball can really unify the country right now, and things not being normal, but this can resemble it. And in a polarizing situation, baseball is one thing. Sports are something that can bring people back, and sports are coming back in a big capacity. You got hockey coming back soon. You got basketball coming back very soon. You got baseball. It's all going to be fun coming up, and other sports are already back in terms of NASCAR got back in action, MLS got back in action. So
PGA Tour.
Amen. As Damian Henderson reaches on the walk, I would have walked him as well after seeing how far he hit last baseball as that pitches up and into John Stallcup, the former Webster Groves High School catcher.
Maybe not the worst thing in the world to walk him.
But with nobody out now and 2-1, John Stallcup, the SIUE catcher, went there by way of Webster Groves High School. He smokes this down the left field line and foul. Good job as a true freshman to get some time at SIUE. Hit 275 at Webster. Was hitting 333, which was the second best on SIUE's team this past season. 5'11", 195 pounds. But the catcher from St. Louis looks very promising to play a big role in SIUE's program moving forward. It's always hard at any level, especially the Division I level, to start getting time as a true freshman. A lot of times in many sports, they'll redshirt guys, but depending on their talent level and ability to be ready, Stallcup was, and he's always been an athlete who's been really mature for his age. He has a great baseball IQ. He knows the game very well. Check swings there, and the runner gets cut down trying to take third base, and Noah Jacobson. Way to be alert right there from Austin Schmidt as the first out is made at third base, and Noah Jacobson.
We've seen it a few times already this ball game. Austin Schmidt has an absolute cannon for an arm behind the plate, and that's not a horrible time to run with the runner on first. At least you have a runner in scoring position no matter what, but making the first out at third base is never what you want to do.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out and 1 on. As Grayson Sen comes set, facing off against John Stallcup. Stallcup peppers that ball to the left side. The pitch missed low. 3 balls and 2 strikes to John Stallcup. Grayson Sen out here on the mound in the bottom of the 4th inning. A 1-0 lead for the Eagles. They're looking to extend on that with a runner in scoring position and 1 away. The full count delivery. Again, Stallcup. He's fouled 3 balls away to the left side. He's doing a good job fighting against Grayson Sen. Both of these two were freshmen this past season at their respective institutions. Sen at UCM, Stallcup at SIUE. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Ole Arntzen is next. The pitch. Popped up again, and what an at-bat John Stallcup is putting together against the right-hander. When you see pitch after pitch fouled off, it really helps out the offense because they're able to see what Sen will go to and what his stuff will look like. Stallcup's able to communicate that with all his teammates, especially because this is Sen's first inning of work. You get to see multiple looks from the right-hander.
And sooner or later, you're going to get a mistake.
You would think. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch. Right there, he got him. Strike 3, and Stallcup is retired looking. Ole Arntzen now to the plate.
And he got a strike, but he was maybe sitting off speed or thought that was maybe going to run a little more inside, but it just absolutely froze him.
Good at bat, though, as he saw a lot of pitches and he was able to fight things off. And again, he's able to communicate what Sen's stuff will look like tonight. Yeah, there's 6 teams in this league, and a lot of these guys are going to see these pitchers often. But one thing you don't think about is a pitcher's stuff isn't going to be the same every single night. Some nights his stuff might be flat. Sometimes it's running more. Sometimes it's more electric. Sometimes the velocity's higher. So all those components coming in, any type of advantage you have as a hitter, you will take any type of information. And that's why that in-game information, especially at the higher levels, are so crucial when they can look at exactly what a pitcher's doing in-game to see that. But that traditional communication that Stalkup's going to be able to have, I think it's a story to be able to talk about, especially with a new pitcher into the ball game as Arnson gets hit. And that will bring up Steven Randazzo. So a couple of hit-by pitches. Runners on first and second with 2 away for the Drury Panthers, Steven Randazzo. Steven Randazzo, his first college at-bat was a walk-off win for the Drury Panthers. That's the best moment he said he's had as an athlete. A marketing management major, earned first-team All-Conference twice at DeSmet Jesuit High School. He was also a standout hockey star as well as he fouls that back to the screen.
Quite a few former hockey players in this league. Those skills kind of translate well from hockey over to baseball. The athleticism, the footwork.
And it's translated well for Randazzo. Hit .342, had 13 hits and 38 tries with a home run. And 3 doubles at Drury this past spring. But Shane, we see just multiple dual sport athletes, whether it be football, basketball, hockey. And I think that just shows you that the athleticism needed to play the game of baseball. A lot of times it helps. Some of the best players we see are the ones who played multiple sports. And it's a conversation that a lot of people have, is when to stop playing one sport to focus on another sport. But we see some guys, there's at least 3 guys in this league who actually played both in college. And this league has a lot of highly athletic kids who are eager to get back out to play, obviously. And those eager kids obviously have a background of playing sports their whole life. And when was the last time a baseball player didn't play baseball in the spring? In college, it was probably before he started playing baseball, when he was just a little kid. So they're eager to get back out there as Grayson Sen gets the swing and a miss from Steven Randazzo to strand a couple runners. 1-0 after 4. Eagles on top. Another lightning delay, which likely means they're done. This game is official. We'll keep you updated on everything, but All signs so this game is done. They will take all the delays needed and try to start the Cavemen Hoots whenever they can. After the lightning delay, we'll keep you tuned, up to date on everything. Hey, maybe a couple more interviews coming your way. Maybe we interview Shane Holsey and unpack the curtain. I don't know. But we will
I'm game.
Stay tuned with everything coming up as there's lightning delay, but this one seems like it's in the books. Eagles win it 1-0. We'll get every confirmation we need from David Schmolin, the director here, but that's what we heard. If this game were to be delayed again, they were going to call it final, and they do all they need to do to start the next game after the potential delays. They're all conversing at home. I'm not going to try to imply what they're going to say, but I'll get the information to you as quickly as possible. Thank you, everybody, and stay tuned as we're going to take a short break. Game is final. 1-0 win for the Eagles. They called it due to lightning. It's an official game. It's in the books. They played 4 complete innings. Only need 3.5. 1-0 win for the Eagles. 30-minute delay, and then we'll start the Cavemen and Hoots. Any updates, any changes, we will let you know, but we expect it to pour here in a little bit. But 30-minute delay, and then we'll start the ball game. Stay tuned with us. Maybe got some interesting interviews for you coming up on CCL TV. Cavemen Hoots on the way.
All right, folks. I got some bad news for you. Game 2 has officially been postponed due to incoming inclement weather. The Eagles win Game 1, 1-0 through 4 innings. We got this game official. We got 4 innings of Game 1. We won't get Game 2, and it's starting to rain, and there's some more on the way. So they've gone ahead and postponed this ball game to be made up at a later date. So for Will Connerly and Charlie Bornoff, I'm Shane Holsey saying good night from Car Shield Field. Stay safe and stay dry. And we will see you tomorrow for 3 ball games right here on Car Shield Collegiate League TV. Have a great rest of your night, everyone. Take care.